What would happen to my soul, to my mind, and to my heart? This question may sound simple, but it carries a deep spiritual weight. Because fasting is not only about denying food, but about touching something invisible, about entering a battlefield that cannot be seen with the eyes, but is felt in the spirit. Welcome to our channel, where we talk about spiritual practices that are forgotten or feared, but that still carry secrets to this day. If this kind of content touches your soul, go ahead and leave a like, subscribe, and activate the bell. Because what you will hear here is not entertainment, it is reflection for spiritual life. Now I ask you, do you remember Esther? When her people were about to be exterminated, she called for a fast. 3 days without eating, 3 days of crying out, and the death sentence was overturned. Do you remember Jehoshaphat? Surrounded by enemies, he didn't call soldiers first, but proclaimed a fast throughout the nation. And God answered. If in such dark moments of history men and women turned to fasting, what would happen if you and I tested this discipline today? Not out of desperation, but out of faith. Not to change God, but to change ourselves. Fasting is the school of silence, the place where the body screams and the soul learns to speak. It's a path to break invisible chains, to hear the voice that is usually muffled by the noise of life. So stay with me, because in this video, we are going to walk through this challenge together. 30 days, 3 fasts per week. We will see where this practice comes from, how to apply it, and what it reveals spiritually. And in the end, the question will be inevitable. What did this fast awaken inside of me? Fasting was not born with monks, nor is it the invention of fanatics. It is rooted in biblical faith. Moses fasted 40 days before receiving the law. Daniel fasted to seek revelation and discernment. Jesus fasted in the desert before facing temptation. What do all these examples have in common? Fasting always appears in moments of decision, of spiritual battle, of the need for clarity. It is not just a practice of sacrifice, it is a spiritual key. And why does it still draw so much attention today? Because fasting is an invisible weapon. It does not appear to others. It is not noisy, but within the invisible it shakes walls. Esther had no armies. She had fasting, and the empire changed its decree. Jehoshaphat had no strength to win the war. He had fasting. And the enemy was confused. When you fast, you don't impress the world, but you confront the flesh. You place yourself in humility before God, and that produces effects that no human power can buy. Fasting calls us to a serious question. Who governs my life? The flesh, with its desires, its hurry, its anxiety, or the spirit, who speaks in silence and guides through the invisible? And that is why this challenge touches so many people. Because it is not just a physical test. It is a spiritual invitation. It asks, are you willing to give up the bread of the earth to seek the bread of heaven? Now let's move to the rules of the challenge. Fast 3 times a week for 30 days. But remember, fasting is not just the absence of food. It is the presence of God. That is why at every fast, in addition to setting food aside, we must seek spiritual nourishment. The fast will be from 6 a.m. to noon. During that time, only water. There will be 12 fasts over the course of the month on alternate days. But the true rule is not about the clock. It is about the heart. Every time your stomach complains, use that moment as a reminder. Pray. When hunger presses, read a psalm. When your mind wants to give up, remember, man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes from the mouth of God. Set aside at least 15 minutes for prayer or Bible reading. Remember Esther, who fasted and prayed for her people. Remember Daniel, who fasted to receive revelations. Remember Jesus, who fasted to face the enemy. This is not a challenge to show strength. It is a call to show dependence. Dependence on God, not on food. Dependence on the Spirit, not on the flesh. Throughout the 30 days, you will discover something. The body screams, but the Spirit whispers. And if you endure, you will hear that whisper like never before. What happens when you fast? The body feels it. Hunger comes. But spiritually, something deeper happens. In fasting, pride is broken. Self-sufficiency is dismantled. You discover that you do not control everything, that you need something beyond bread. You begin to perceive your fragility and at the same time, the strength that comes from God. Look at Esther. In 3 days of fasting, she was strengthened to stand before the king and change the history of her nation. Look at Jehoshaphat. In the midst of fear, fasting brought divine intervention. Look at Jesus. In the desert, fasting not only weakened him physically, but strengthened him spiritually to resist the enemy. These examples reveal the impact of fasting. It prepares the spirit to listen, to resist, to discern. And what if you took this step for 30 days? Maybe you won't see visible signs on the first day. Maybe on the second you'll feel only weakness. But little by little, fasting makes room. It clears the noise. It makes the word sound louder. It brings a different sensitivity to prayer. This impact is not magical. It is spiritual. It is not explained in formulas, but experienced in silence. It is there that God speaks. It is there that the flesh is silenced. After 30 days, after 12 fasts, you will not be the same. Not because your life changed from the outside in, but because you changed from the inside out. You will realize that fasting is a spiritual weapon, that it is not meant to manipulate God, but to transform you. You will discover that the body does not command everything, that the soul can be strengthened, that there are secrets in silence that are not revealed amidst noise. And we return to the initial question, what if I fast 3 times a week for 30 days? The answer is not technical, it is spiritual. You may encounter God in a way you never knew. You may understand your own weakness and at the same time experience the strength that comes from Him. Like Esther, you may find courage. Like Jehoshaphat, you may find direction. Like Daniel, you may receive revelation. Like Jesus, you may resist the enemy. This is the true benefit of fasting. It does not change God. It changes you, and I give you an invitation. Don't just listen, but experience it. 30 days, 3 times a week. Place your body and your soul in this discipline and see what God can reveal. If this video spoke to you, subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and share. Not just because it helps us, but because you can be the bridge for someone else to awaken spiritually. The challenge is launched. The battle is before you. Now the question is, will you watch from afar, or will you enter the invisible battlefield and discover what fasting can do in your soul?